So I think we got it. We're all set. Hopefully we look good.
Got water here.
We have water.
It's okay. This is the backstage uncut part of the Milo Beasley Show. Thank you, Jenny.
Well, it's like a real talk show where you have
drinks
where we have water for our guest.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I need to know where my fucking assistant is, who's holding a little fan under me.
Fanning you with a giant leaf
to keep my flop sweat.
That's on the next budget request. We're doing that. All right, so we ready?
Yes.
All right, well, let's get a beer here.
It's water.
No, we got beer.
Beer.
Beer for us.
You're interviewing the Sinister Minister. You think I'd be... What do you expect?
Cheers.
Cheers, gentlemen. You're a teetotaler, Milo.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, okay,
yeah.
Wow.
Yep, never touch your stuff.
Really? You've never had a beer?
Never had a drink, no.
Wow, you're like my hero Penn Jillette. Wow. I don't know how that feels. Well, I did when I quit drinking for a year and a half.
Was that your fault?
Did I quit drinking?
Right, or was it the doctor? Or was it?
No. I did it myself. Because that was when I used to drink 24 hours a day. So
24 hours a day, 24 beers in a case. You know,
it was more than that. I felt everything was going wrong, so I cut it back to where normally I would just drink at night when I'm doing karaoke. But this is a special occasion, so it's daytime. Let's go. Okay.
And on that note, welcome to the Milo Beasley Show. Do.
I was gonna do it.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
I was gonna do it.
Episode number 100.
Golly, 100 years of the Milo Beasley Show.
No, not 100 years.
100 beers of the Milo Beasley Show.
Yes, 100 beers of the Milo Beasley Show. Episode number 100, finally in the triple digits.
Wow. That's big.
Yeah, actually,
that's huge.
This weekend, May 14th, is the 2-year anniversary. I just realized that in my brain.
Dude, we just said 100 years.
No. The 2-year anniversary.
Wait, didn't we do the 50-year anniversary too?
We did. You've known this guy longer than. How have you dealt with it? How long have you known Simon?
When did I meet you?
2005.
2005.
When I went back to TNA to manage Abyss.
Yep. Unfortunately, it was a dark time, but something good came out of it.
Yes.
Our father-son bond.
So 11 years.
Wow. 11 years. People wonder how I was groomed and how I became the fine specimen that I am today, and look no further.
It's our guest of episode number 100, Father James Mitchell. Thank you for joining us here.
Thank you for having me.
And where is this place that we're hanging out at? The
Toscana Tavern in Davenport, Florida. This is where you can see me on Thursday nights, caterwauling and growling at you for a living when I do my karaoke.
That sounds fun.
Here.
It's awesome.
Beats working for a living.
Yeah, and you get to drink while you do it too, just like my trivia shows.
Yeah.
It's the only job.
I drink all the time. The water.
Only job where you can drink and look at half-naked women. Well, no, that's not true. I guess being a bouncer in a strip club would be
well, it's not as fun though. You got to actually move people around and stuff. Here you get to sing and eat and curse and.
Yeah, I'm not into macho bullshit. I don't want any no physical altercations.
Real quick, so how long have you actually, I don't want to get into what made you get in the wrestling, but how long have you actually been in the wrestling business?
I started, I think my first show would have been in 1990.
Wow. You weren't even born, Simon.
I was born.
Yeah, I mean, like I started trying to get into it in the 80s. It was just a long, convoluted story of how I bullshitted, lied, kind of swindled my way into it. And finally overdubbed myself doing a promo on a porno tape and sent it to a promoter, and that's the guy who called me back.
That's the James Mitchell Show.
He didn't give me a gig, but at least he gave me some phone numbers and whatever. So, but that was like in 89. No, it was 90. I'd been trying to, and actually I'd met like some low-level wrestlers or jobbers, as they were called back in the day. But at the time, like, I'd meet them and they'd say, yeah, we'll hook you up. And they didn't. They just ripped you off. Hey, I need a ride somewhere. Can you loan me some money? Yeah, bullshit. So about 1990 is when I actually got started.
Cool. And then you went from Smoky Mountain, which I want to talk about.
No,
well,
first,
you didn't start there, but the first, I guess, mainstream.
My first TV territory, back when they used to have territories, they don't exist. It was back in the mafia days of wrestling. My first territory with TV was South Atlantic Pro Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
Which was run by, I think, John Ringley and Greg Price. I forget who it was back then, but anyway, it was in the Charlotte. It was in Jim Crockett's old area, and basically they were trying to kind of recreate the Crockett groove. So that was 1991 or 2.
So that was right about the time that
I actually got on TV fairly fast for somebody who didn't know what the fuck he was doing. And then in '93, I went to Smoky Mountain. Shut up.
It's the agent calling.
Yes.
Asians calling?
Found out he was on the Milo Beasley Show.
We have Asians calling?
Yes.
Cool.
So yeah, Smoky Mountain in '93 was when people first began to create any buzz.
Right. Yeah. Smoky Mountain had a cool little vibe amongst itself when it was big. I mean, it got the rub from the WWF at the time.
Yeah, I think that was the last place on TV, other than Memphis, where people still believed wrestling was real.
Right.
And they believed that shit. It was serious to them.
Yeah, wrestling is, I guess, no longer real. Nobody believes it to be so, except you go to a couple of these small towns and stuff like that, man, and they believe it. Your friend Peanut, he believes it's real.
We worked at this place, Pell City, Alabama, where the people are nuts, ravenous.
Oh yeah, those are the people that will walk up and go, I know everybody says that shit ain't real, but I know you don't. I know it's real.
Yeah, that's
I don't care what they say. I don't care what they say. I know that shit's real.
I seen the welts on your chest. I know that's real.
So I want to talk about something with Smoky Mountain, and I was reading on the internet. That's where I get all of my information.
Notes.
Is the Wikipedia.
That's a real legitimate source.
Yeah,
Milo.
hey, if it's on the internet, it has to be real. I read
on
Wikipedia, so it has to be real.
But you have to be careful. They say 9 out of 10 quotes on the internet are fake. I read that about Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln said that. I heard a rumor, I guess we should say, that the way you exited Smoky Mountain because you drunk dialed Jim Cornette and his crew.
It wasn't just drunk dialing, because I used to drunk dial everybody then. What it was when I drunk dialed, I had received a rumor that Jim Cornette was splitting up with his wife and the company was going out of business. So Cornette was under a lot of pressure with a million things going on. And so he was pretty pissed off, and you could read all that in the sheets anyways, a war with Wade Keller and the Torch, whenever people were starting to screw with him and the company was kind of going down. Anyhow, I received this stupid piece of information, this rumor, and called a couple of his assistants. That's what I did. And asked about it. The first one said, I would suggest that you shut up. Well, of course I didn't. I called the next guy, and about 45 minutes later, Jim Cornette called me up and reamed me a new asshole and fired me, and you son of a bitch, what business of yours how many wives I have? And so I shot myself in the foot on that one. So yes, that is true. But Wikipedia is incredibly inaccurate. I don't do that thing. Who in the hell puts this stuff on?
It's not me, I can tell you that. I tried creating one for myself.
I had to get somebody one time.
I was going to make myself like King of Florida or something.
I tried to make myself a Wikipedia, and they said you needed a legitimacy.
I was like, it's me.
I guess. Yeah.
I had to get somebody, I guess some hater of mine at some point. I didn't even know what Wikipedia was, right? So a guy goes, dude, you've got a Wikipedia page. I have no idea what that shit is. This is probably 2005.
It's probably me.
I don't know what it is.
It's probably me that said that.
No, just a random civilian. But he was really impressed that I had a Wikipedia page. I had no idea what that meant. Anyhow, so I get on it and look at it, and it's kind of right, kind of wrong, and an amalgamation of stuff. It's got my birth date, my middle name wrong, but it had a quote in there that says, James Mitchell claims to have slept with over 5,000 women. And I'm like...
I was going to say, your cardio's not that good.
Yeah, then I looked it up, and kind of, I guess you can look back and see who posted stuff and whatnot. And apparently it was like a troll or whatever who kind of bombed other people's sites. So I had one person, I said, remove that.
You didn't put that on your business card?
No. I hadn't hit 5,000. But anyway, it was just some...
That's not for lack of trying.
I had it removed.
That is not.
But I don't know how to remove anything.
Not for lack of trying.
Simon, do you got anything for
you know what I do have for the devil? Rev, anybody that knows you, anybody that knows me knows that we are gigantic comic book fans.
Yes.
Huge. The devil's more into the actual comic book back issues, right? You know, the actual reading of the comic. I'm more into the collectibles, action figures, but we both have a bonding, bonding love of villains. So the top 5 that I have for my dear old Padre is top 5 favorite comic book villains.
From me?
In no particular order, but not movie villains, not like a Hans Gruber, not like, oh, I just got chills. Look at this. Look at this. Can you see
All right. So the top 5, this is not in order.
No order, just top 5. Yeah.
The Joker. The Green Goblin. Dr. Octopus.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Dr. Doom.
You're not gonna throw Mephisto in there?
It's his top.
I mean,
something that influenced the man's top 5.
Yeah, Mephisto's the devil guy, the devil of the Marvel Comics universe. But I mean, he was cool, but not
a key player.
Nah, he's peripheral.
So hold on. Doc Doom, Doc Ock, Joker, and Goblin. Just to recap.
It would have to be somebody else who cackles, because that's what I was into.
Goblin.
No, hold on. Jesus, that's funny.
Jesus is your 5? That's
pretty much.
That throws me for a loop.
God, a 5th one? Drum roll, hold on. It's like, who wants to be a millionaire? Is that your final question? Or final answer? Shit, who else do I like?
Yeah, Simon asking all the hard questions.
Tight. Didn't do my homework. Who's some of the Batman villains?
Penguin, Two-Face, Clayface, Scarecrow,
Ra's al
Ghul, Killer Croc, Calendar Man. You want to get obscure? Victor Zaz.
You're gonna have to edit this. I'm giving you a lot of dead air.
The Riddler.
Yeah, it's for pure fucking evil.
How about this, Milo? Do you have a top 5? Give the devil some time to think. Top 5 comic book villains.
Do I have a top 5? Go wrestling related, simply because back in TNA, I was sending in my stuff, and I was trying to be in the new church because I thought,
I never knew this. You were trying to get into my group.
If anybody should be in a
it should
group,
be Jesus.
It should be Jesus. So
Bizarro Jesus.
So 5 wrestlers who you thought would be perfect for the new church.
There you go. Do you have a top 5 of that?
No. Sorry, I've got top 4 villains. Go on. I blanked out.
Now, there aren't that many managers really left in the wrestling.
No.
Why do you think that is?
It's very simple. And it started right about the time I hit the big time in 1997.
Hold on, Brad. I don't mean to cut you off. For anyone that may be unfamiliar, that's been living under a rock, what do you constitute as the big time? I mean...
national television.
Okay.
That's the big time. National television for a company that has millions or billions of dollars.
Okay, but you understand what I'm saying. Right. Schmuck like us, Smoky Mountain would have been the big time.
Well, in the old days, in the 90s, the big time... The big time was wherever you were, because there were like 30 territories or 29 territories.
Well, because some might constitute, people...
Like New York would be big time, but the Carolinas, when Crockett was big time, Eddie Graham of Florida was big time, but some folks Gargano was big time, but it wasn't national TV.
Well, some folks might constitute also, the big time being how you were used. You can be on national TV and be used once every 8 months, but, your role in ECW was so... prolific, you know what I mean? That some might think you would refer. I'm just trying to clear things up for the layman's.
So what was it? Managers.
Yeah, managers.
Okay, so right as I got to WCW, Eric Bischoff and Vince McMahon, because they were both basically kind of ripping each other off. You know, you got the NWO, then you have Degeneration X, that sort of thing. Bischoff and McMahon went from being announcers to on-air heels.
Right.
They became the mouthpieces for the whole brand, you know, and then that was the end of managers, and then they started putting tits and ass out there. So basically it was going towards valets at ringside, even though none of them could talk.
Right.
I'm sorry, but I haven't. There's very few that can cut a promo. But anyway, when Vince and Bischoff got there, they said, in fact, Bischoff told me the day he hired me, I'm going to be the guy who gets rid of managers and tag teams. Quote. So that was a shift, and then because nobody comes up with anything fucking original, everybody just copies the industry leaders. So then your smaller promotions did the same thing. Let's get a pretty girl who can't talk. And that's the way it went. So now there's nobody to learn from because the kids who come up of whatever new generation is calling themselves pro wrestlers, and we can get into that in a minute, but they don't have anybody to learn from. And if there is a manager, unfortunately, it's a guy who's so young, who doesn't have access to managers that knew how to draw money and knew how to cut money promos and knew their timing at ringside. Now everything is, okay, I want to get it. Just like, you know, how many indie promoters make themselves the GM? Managers have been replaced by general managers.
I hate the
Therefore, you get to go out and cut a promo in front of every match. And if you're running your own little shitty indie show, you can, because you're the guy who backed it, you can put all the heat on yourself to the detriment of the show. There's just nowhere to learn it from anywhere. It truly is a dying art.
So you don't see it coming back at all?
It could come back easily. There's no reason it couldn't come back. But all it would take, it would pretty much require Vince doing it. And a few years ago, when I got 2012, 2013, I was being called by a guy from a member of WWE Creative, who mentioned to me, asked me if I'd be interested in working as a manager, and I said, well, I thought you guys hated managers, whatever. He said there was a shift. Long story short, it didn't happen, but Vince was supposedly about to move back towards managers, but the phrase was, you can't call yourself a manager, you have to call yourself a mouthpiece. If you say manager, that's old wrestling to Vince.
Right.
But if you use the term mouthpiece, that's okay. So it pretty much, I think, if Vince decides one day, I like mouthpieces, and they're in vogue, they'll be fine. I mean, you got Heyman, of course, one of the greatest of all time. Yep. But in general, the other ones.
And well, Padre, not to get too far, too in depth into it. And I know it's a weird subject, but like I know around 2005 when we met, TNA had a plethora. They had you, Scott D'Amore, Simon Diamond. It seemed like managers were coming back for a little while. Then you got jerked around by WWE. Zeb Coulter ended up taking the spot. Now, of course, he's gone. What do you think? What's it gonna take? If Vince won't get it out of his head, managers are dead. It's a dead art. Besides Paul Heyman, some people think he's just holding on to Paul Heyman because it's nostalgia. He's good. He's great. Like he's amazing. But he's the only one.
Well, Brock Lesnar is not a promo guy.
But what do you think it's gonna take to get a young face in there that doesn't have the
probably Vince dying.
I think that's part of like the performance center. The performance center, they have wrestling days, they have shoot days, they have promo days because they want everyone to be well-rounded. So they want to make sure that if you can wrestle, you can cut that promo.
But some people just can't. Like you've been around way longer than I have. Some people just don't have the. No, you can cut a promo. Some people just can't talk, and if they can talk, they can't articulate, and they can't do both. They can remember lines and they can dictate them like a tape recorder, but they have no emphasis.
I think the bigger the wrestler, the more likely they should have a manager, just for looks.
Yeah, I agree. Devil, is there any parting words you'd like to give? Tell people where they can find you. Toscana Resort Thursday nights to see the Devil live Miami karaoke.
Let's see. For those of you who travel around travel to Florida, you can find me at the Summer Bay Resort in Orlando / Claremont, Davenport, whatever they want to call it. This Summer Bay Resort.
One night.
Tuesday, Friday and Saturday, and I'm out here at Toscana in Champions Gate, Florida, right around the corner from another place on Thursdays. And on Wednesdays, I can be found at the, what's it called? Emerald Island Resort, which is also in this general area, right around the corner. So that's where you can find me.
And you can find me at The Wrestling Bum on all the socials, the Milo Beasley Show on the Facebook. Simon, where can I find you?
You can catch me Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Emerald_Emperor, or CurtisEarthTrivia.com or Facebook.com/SimonTimeTrivia. Wednesday mornings on Max 98.3 as part of the Max Morning Show Mental Olympics. And of course, Wednesdays at 5 to 7 p.m. on Rollins College Radio and the Curtis Earth Radio Show.
And right now you can head to OrlandoWeekly.com, vote for the best of Orlando. Throw our names in, it doesn't matter what
best
what
local
category.
Podcast, the Milo Beasley Show.
Right,
best trivia night, Simon Time Trivia. Best radio personality, Curtis Earth. Just all our buddies that hook us up. Best karaoke night.
Best I almost said karaoke.
Yeah, karaoke.
Best karaoke.
Best karaoke. James Mitchell, man, give a plug, support.
Yeah, give us love.
Show some love. That's it. Orlando Weekly. Your nominations are vital. Get us on the ballot, and then of course vote for the three of us to be the best in Orlando.
All right, and
May all of your stains be large ones.
Thank you for watching the Milo Beasley Show, episode number 100. We'll see you next week.
Woo! Peace.
Yay, I'm entertaining.